likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole. He also wrote the Communist Manifesto.
Who was his co-author?
Who was co-author?
Yeah, Engels. Good. I'm glad college is really paying off for you.
Hey,
so
your biggest point that everyone here is for is that you're a potential white supremacist. So clearly you need a history
I know your talking points better than you do, and
I'm not gonna argue your lived experience. I'm not gonna know.
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. In this video, we're going to be watching Charlie Kirk absolutely scorch a young, arrogant, communist college student who tries to come and blatantly insult Charlie. Now, if you're going to come and do this, if you're going to insult somebody like this, you'd want to pick your target wisely. And also, you'd want to pick the topics that you're going to roast them about also very wisely. Unfortunately, he did not do this, so we're going to be reviewing this clip and then another clip from a different student on the same day. So with that, let's get into it.
You dropped out of college, and your highest...
Community college.
Sorry, your Harper College experience, I apologize.
Barely was smart enough to make it through community college.
Okay, so...
Barely made it through high school,
your
too.
highest degree level is an honorary doctorate degree from Liberty University.
No, that's true. I do have an honorary PhD.
Yeah, so essentially, what are your qualifications for arguing that college is a scam, or really having any economical knowledge at all, when likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole?
Okay, so, no, hold on, it's okay, guys, it's okay. Who's Milton Friedman?
Who's Milton Friedman? I have no idea, and it's not important to this conversation.
Who is Ludwig von Mises?
These are all probably economists, and the same
who
thing.
Is John Maynard Keynes?
Okay, obviously I know who Keynes is.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
He's the most famous economist of all time.
You don't know Milton Friedman?
I mean, that's an economist.
Okay, how about Murray Rothbard?
That's another economist.
F.A. Hayek?
I don't know who that is.
Well, then you just came here and insulted my intelligence. You're right, I barely made it through community college because I was too busy, I don't know, starting a national youth movement with hundreds of thousands of members.
Hey, hold on, though. Hold on.
Employing hundreds of people, raising hundreds of millions of dollars,
yes,
having a top 10 most popular podcast,
sure,
and reaching tens of millions of people online every day.
Sure,
but hold on.
But you're also calling all of your constituents idiots by saying they participate in a scam. Their shirt's right there.
I'm calling the institution a scam.
So then
I never insulted the intelligence. I just had 10 people come up and we had warm conversations. So you asked, what are my qualifications? I'm a job creator, entrepreneur, autodidact. Do you know what that word means?
Self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught. You know, you should probably learn that word if you're going to come up and insult other people's intelligence.
Hey.
So autodidacticism is what Leonardo da Vinci was. You don't have to go to college to be wise. You don't have to go to college to be intelligent. I read 100 books a year. I visit over 150 colleges.
I'm not saying you're unintelligent. I'm just saying you lack qualifications.
Well, are you a New York Times bestseller?
Of course not. I'm in college.
Got it. So I'm just trying. What are my qualifications? I have published books, read lots of books, dialogued with a lot of people, and instead of asking what my qualifications are, can you name one thing I've ever said that? Hold on. Name one thing I'm wrong about.
You literally just now incorrectly cited the difference between socialism and communism. While you yourself...
How so? What did I do?
How so? You claimed that Russia was socialist. Russia was never socialist.
The Soviet Union was socialist.
No, it was a communist nation. There is a significant difference between the two.
Why did Lenin say that socialism is the gateway to communism, and he was self-described socialist in his private treatise and documents in the Russian Revolution?
Lenin was overtaken by Stalin.
Hold on a second. No, Lenin died, and then Stalin was his successor.
Yes.
But Lenin himself said, quote, that socialism is the introductory phase to communism. Did he not say that?
So then the vast majority of people, when they're referring to communist Russia, are referring to Stalin's rule over Russia. That was a communist rule that turned into a fascist rule later on.
Okay, so but what thinker was deified in Soviet Russia?
Thinker was deified?
Yes.
Marx.
Oh, and what book did Marx write?
Yes, he wrote Capital, and he also wrote the Communist Manifesto.
Who was his co-author?
Who was co-author?
Engels.
Yeah, Engels. Good. I'm glad college is really paying off for you.
Hey.
But it's okay. It's fine. He comes up here and insults my intelligence. What are your qualifications? Doesn't even know the co-author of the Communist Manifesto or Das Kapital. But no, let me just...
But does my lack of knowledge on that mean that I have no knowledge? Again, is that the same thing?
You came up here and insulted me, and you came up here guns a-blazing, man.
So this one is about to devolve very quickly into some much more egregious insults. But for now, little buddy just came in there with a logical fallacy straight away. And he came in with confidence as well. And the logical fallacy is, of course, the argument from authority. You didn't go to university. You don't have a degree, so then you can't be educated about this. And me and all of my little friends here, me and all of my friends who took all of the indoctrination classes, we do know what we're talking about because we took the classes. And then he doesn't know the most famous economists in history, like Milton Friedman. That's like saying to somebody that they're an idiot because they don't know anything about UFC, but then you don't know who Conor McGregor is.
I own this town. I own Rio de Janeiro. So for him to say he is the king and I am the joker, if this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to walk. But we are in a new time, so I'll whoop his ass in July.
But on the topic of fighting, guys, on the topic of combat, ninjutsu, verbal ninjutsu, whatever we want to call it, there's some great lessons here. When you get in a fight, in the first round, you don't want to just come out guns a-blazing, swinging. You want to feel out your opponent a little bit, stay behind the jab, keep the defense nice and high, and just feel out the rhythm of the fight. Because if you do come in hard like that, if you come in hot, then you might get knocked out because of your recklessness. And if not, you're probably going to tire yourself out and end up on the ropes looking like a fool.
Stop onslaught from Rocha. Oh my goodness!
And also, more in a sparring sense here, but if there is somebody who you're sparring against and they're less experienced than you and they come out swinging, trying to knock your head off, and if you were chill, but you do see that little opening open up and you feel the need to teach them a bit of a lesson, then crack them in the nose, by all means. They'll be better for it. So let's carry on now, where Charlie Kirk gives this man a further education in political theory. And if he knew how to listen and not just try and insult Charlie the whole time, then he would actually learn something for once rather than what he's learning in his classes. Let's get into it. It's very funny how this one ends.
And let me just ask again, what did I say that was wrong? I said that under the generally agreed upon definition of communism and socialism, which are interchangeable terms, one is a more harsh degree of the other, is that the elimination of the family, the elimination of private property, and the deprivation of basic human rights such as right to speech, right to assembly, and right to worship. How is that not a good definition of communism and socialism?
That explains
the
fascism better.
Well, but in the Communist Manifesto, Marx said, quote, "We are here to destroy the nuclear family and eradicate the family because it was the original oppressive, tyrannical structure." He said religion is the opiate of the masses and that private property must be eradicated. I have just now documented all three of those with evidence back to original source documents. And then in practice, Russia did all those three things when they were the Soviet Union. So where am I wrong?
But then at the same time, if you claim that those are all negative things, then why do you practice certain things in the doctrines that you just stated?
Well, I'm not trying to take people's stuff away. I want people to have bigger families, and I want churches to remain open.
Yeah, but the thing is,
So how do I practice?
No, but your biggest thing, your biggest point that everyone here is for is that you're a potential white supremacist. So.
What evidence do you have that I'm a racist?
I was just literally watching a video of you talking about whiteness as a whole, talking about whiteness as a concept, okay? And you were trying to explain how white privilege doesn't exist.
Correct, it doesn't.
You are a white man. How do you know?
Because I have eyes.
Because you have eyes. That's
And
not
I
a
have
description.
reason. So what can a black person do that I can't do in America, or
What can a
vice
black
versa?
person do?
What can I do a black person can't do, I should
Let's
say?
think of some history right here. Let's go through
No,
the history of
no,
redlining.
I don't need a history. I don't need
Yes,
listen.
no,
You're talking about white
You do
privilege.
need a history lining. Clearly, you need a history
I know you're
lesson.
talking points better than you do, and I've read all the literature that you have. I've probably forgotten more about the literature.
History affects the present day as well, and you know that's true. If you went to college, you would know.
Well, hold on a second, but let me.
So then why are you wearing the college of the scam shirt? Drop out.
Well, because you could.
So it's because you don't believe your own beliefs, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, you can admit something's a scam and still get through it. That's why he's wearing it. Okay.
Why?
You could feel like you're getting ripped off by an airline and still want to get to New York.
That's not what we're talking
okay?
about anymore.
Like you're like, I'm getting ripped off by a $1,000 ticket, but you still get on the airplane. Like, it doesn't make you a hypocrite. It means that the people are ripping you off, and a lot of you are getting ripped off. But no, so as far as white privilege, just without the history lesson of, Jim Crow, segregation, imperialism, colonialism, slavery, all the stuff that I know that you're going to say, but just concretely in America today, what can a white person do that a black person can't do?
Black applicants to jobs are 50% less likely to get jobs if they have a black-sounding name.
That's not even close to being true. That's not even close to being true.
That is a literal...
in fact, it's the opposite.
I'm not going to argue your lived experience. I'm not going to... No.
See, now you have to listen to him under your rules because a black person is going to say you're wrong.
I am. He can say I'm wrong. I know.
Come on up to the mic.
I know. I read your.
My name's Keemon Dixon. I have a really black name. Please tell me how 50% of my internships have been denied when I've worked for Senator Mike Lee, Mayor Trent Sachs, Speaker Mike Schultz.
Hold on.
I've worked for a Congressman, Burgess Owens. I've actually worked on his campaign. I've worked on the campaigns of John Huntsman Jr. Please tell me how my black experience and my black name has not given me shit. Go ahead.
So.
It's very funny how things go sometimes. I mean, there is a certain kryptonite of the left, and especially the white liberal left. And that kryptonite is a based black conservative. If you guys have a based black conservative friend, which we should all have, then I would recommend having them by your side if you ever find yourself in these precarious situations with white liberals. The based black friend is the white liberal kryptonite. Very handy. But on the topic of black people not getting jobs, I have 3 words for you, my son. DEI. If you are a black person living in America and you have any qualifications, you are so much more likely to get a job in the corporate world than a white person. And that's because they have DEI equity quotas and diversity quotas that they are desperate to fill.
That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country and starts at the top with the vice president.
I mean, I used to work in recruitment. I know this. If I ever had an Indigenous candidate, which is the Black Australians, then I could just literally walk them in. Red carpet treatment. And so with that, guys, the next clip that we're going to look at is Charlie Kirk giving a further education to another liberal on education. And this one gets to the heart of a very important issue, which is the idea of being self-educated versus being traditionally or college educated, especially when we're talking about market value in the modern context.
Do you view democracy as an American value, something that's very important to the fabric of this country?
No. Where is democracy in the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, okay. So are you...
No, hold on. Where is the word democracy?
I don't think the word democracy is in the Constitution.
So where is the word democracy in any of the founding fathers?
A lot of the founding fathers had extremely elitist viewpoints around who should...
No, hold on. I just want to... You said the word democracy, so I want to get back to our roots.
Yes.
Where is democracy mentioned? In the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, or the Declaration?
I think it's good that this country has moved away from things that were explicitly believed by the founding fathers.
In the Federalist Papers, and it's mentioned negatively as a problem. So you ask me, is democracy a fundamental American value? I say no.
Okay.
Because I go back to our roots. And Hamilton, Madison, and Jay...
Oh, I know that Hamilton was anti-democracy.
No, well, hold on,
these people thought that people should be owned as property.
I want to be clear. I am pro-representative government, but I'm not pro-democracy. That's a big difference, and that distinction's important. But you asked very specifically about democracy, which is not an American value. It never has been and never should be, because what is democracy? Democracy is majority rule no matter what. That there's no provisions of checks and balances, no inalienable rights, no separation of powers, pure if the majority gets it, the majority wants it as quickly as possible.
I don't advocate pure democracy. I do understand that we live in a representative, we live in a republic, and I understand these things.
Representative government.
Okay.
And you might say I'm splitting hairs on words, but I'm not.
Well, just coming from a place where on some level we have a level of democracy in this country and people vote and it is part of their civic duty to vote.
Sure.
Yes. Do you not think it is in the greater interest of this country at large that its citizens are as educated as possible to therefore be able to participate in that system?
I think they should be as wise as possible, and I don't think that education and wisdom are the same thing.
Yeah,
in fact,
I understand.
I think college disincentivizes the cultivation of wisdom.
In the age where there is such a hypersaturation of, and we've seen this, extremely polarizing, different, people are getting their news from wildly different sources.
Yes.
People just don't interact with the other side at all. Do you think that being an autodidact in any sense of the term is going to give you a thorough and rigorous education if you are so likely to end up sucked into these holes where you're never interacting with people who
that's not my only form of learning. I meet a lot of cool people. I learn from people like you and others. I mean, I'm listening when you're talking. It's not just a shtick. You haven't won me over on any of it, but you had an opportunity to. but I'm glad you attempted to. But yeah, I mean, you learn in other ways other than just sitting in a classroom listening to a professor drone on for 90 minutes and pretending to read his book and paying $20,000 a semester to cheat on the exam at the end of the semester.
I think college is what you make of it. I
agree. So is life.
People are selling themselves short on their education if they don't.
You can listen to as many podcasts as you want. You can meet interesting people, and
academia does have like an actual level of like. You have to prove that you're worth your salt, at least to have peer-reviewed papers published, which you don't have to do to start a podcast.
If you get a PhD, yes, but hold on. So is your contention that I'm not informed or not worldly or not wise? I want to be clear.
I'm not making any claims about your specific level of being informed. I'm saying the general rhetoric on the right against education, against higher education specifically.
Why do you think it is? Is it because you think we hate smart people, or is it that there's something happening here that we really think is troubling?
I think it's much easier to control people who are less educated.
See, now you're a conspiracy theorist. So, no, it's...
Anti-intellectualism is a hallmark of fascism.
Do you think we're against higher education because it largely has created an ungrateful, unprepared generation that goes into the American body politic and does not share the core American values of freedom of speech, gratitude for our founding, consent of the governed? In fact, it's hyper-radical. And it's against our traditions, our norms, and our customs, and it's created massive fissures. We call that the woke mind virus, if you will.
Okay, that makes...
It's not because people are easier to control. In fact, we love learning. I learn every day. In fact, that's why I'm pro Hillsdale College, where it's probably one of the hardest colleges in the country to get into and graduate from. The problem is that when you are learning largely trash and crap, and you're not going in the pursuit of truth, beauty, or goodness, and you're not trying to inculcate wisdom or good character.
There's no oversight on online political punditry to make sure that you're in pursuit of wisdom and goodness.
No, of course
you directly profit from propagating viewpoints that are more polarizing and that suck people deeper into more conspiratorial thinking.
Hold on. So what you're doing is you're actually insulting the audience, not me. Because the vast majority of this audience actually enjoys watching my videos, and they enjoy hearing from me.
I never said your audience didn't enjoy watching your videos.
Because you say I'm profiting. The way
you do profit, you financially, you make a ton of money from getting more clicks.
The audience rewards me because they find that I bring some value.
Well, I don't
and that they
necessarily
learn something
think
from
that
me.
whatever gets the most
get to the next
eyes
question.
on a specific...
But it's easy to attack me as exploitation. What I say is actually very popular and resonates with people. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So the academics and the intellectuals are absolutely furious that people in the modern world are listening to individuals like Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk, for that matter, because once upon a time, these institutions used to basically have a monopoly over the science and over where knowledge came from. These colleges used to be the one place that young adults could go to really gain said knowledge and to gain expertise. But nowadays, with the internet and the decentralization of information, people can basically learn whatever they want at any time for free within a few clicks. And this has created a digital economy where there are many creators out there who are looking to add the most value possible in the littlest time and for the best price. Otherwise, they'll just get priced out of the market. And what this has done is shown that the emperor wears no clothes. I mean, unless you are doing something that really requires a degree, then you're better off not going to college because first of all, you'll end up in massive debt. And second of all, 4 years is a long time, from 18 to 22. If you spent that time applying yourself to a skill, then by the time you're 22, you will have so much more market value than you would if you had just gone and done some useless degree. So I really do think for these young 18-year-olds who are getting out of high school or even during high school and applying themselves to learning a really handy skill and really using the information at their disposal, this is a superpower and the sky is the limit for these young people. But for the useless college degree people, not so much. So anyways, guys, don't forget to like the video if you did enjoy this, subscribe to the channel, and also my links will all be below, social medias and what have you, and if you'd like to watch another one, right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is RattlesnakeTV, keeping you armed and dangerous.